Welcome back to Society Case Files. My name is Robert, and today I'm going to talk about the movie Freaky Tales. It's this completely bonkers movie set in 1987 Oakland, and it is totally nuts. If you like this kind of content and you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Otherwise, I'm going to dive right in. Freaky Tales came out of nowhere. It was a movie that I happened to see on pre-order through iTunes for a little while. I didn't really pay any attention to it until the date came closer. Then I watched the trailer and I was like, what did I just see? It sort of reminded me of the Pawn Shop Chronicles, but not as horrible and foul. Not to say that I didn't think the Pawn Shop Chronicles was kind of interesting, but it is a really grotesque film by comparison. But it has that sort of quirky, crazy vibe. Freaky Tales has Pedro Pascal and Ben Mendelsohn. It's this sort of anthology that all links together at some point. You've got sort of this strange accepted fact that there is this green sort of energy that exists, and it existed in the 80s, and it creates this nostalgia and this sense of whatever that we have about the 80s. And it sort of starts with these punk kids, progresses to a couple of ladies who are aspiring rappers, and then it moves on to some other things. And I would love to talk about them, but it would be heavy spoilers at that point. The show has a lot of really strange stuff happen. There's animations on the screen. There's a few times that instead of showing the action with real people, they used animation. There is a lot of gore. It's really, really, really nasty. And it was just totally underhyped. Like, I didn't even really know about it until it was about 2 weeks out. And then I saw that it was available. I watched the trailer. I almost bought it for $15. A few days after that, I saw it was on HBO Max. We finally just happened to watch it today while we were having lunch, then just ended up watching the whole thing. And I had a great time. Now, a while back, and I'll post the card here, I did a video on Sinners, and I talked about overhype. For Sinners, tons of people told me, you've got to see this. It's going to change your life. It's an amazing movie. And while I agree now that it was an amazing movie, and I absolutely loved it, and in a lot of ways it did change my thinking about films, it had been dramatically overhyped. So many people told me how great it was that I was worried to see it because I was in that mindset of like, oh yeah, prove it. And I didn't want to do that because that's crap. That's when you get your expectations too high, something falls short, and then you're like, meh, whatever. And that would suck, especially with something like Sinners. It's a vampire movie. I wanted it to be great. Well, if that movie was overhyped, this movie, Freaky Tales, is dramatically underhyped. Like, no advertisements anywhere. I didn't see anything on IMDb. I didn't see any commercials. I didn't see a reel for it until today, this morning, before I watched the movie. I didn't see anything. It's like they just decided not to market it. And that said, there is a segment in the movie that I wanted to get some more information about. I wanted to see what people were saying. So I looked it up online, and there's people who are like, I've seen this movie in the theater 4 or 5 times. And I'm like, where? It didn't even play in my area. So other people were like, can't wait for an international release. So this movie was not only underhyped, but it was under distributed. Like, you couldn't even necessarily see it if you wanted to. And that's just crazy. So it was very strange because at the very beginning, when I started watching it, I was like, ooh, this might actually be a little too much, because it starts out very chaotic and totally crazy. And then it calms down just a little bit, not much. I think it's more about the fact that you start to acclimate to what the director is trying to create. And once you start to do that, once you get the sense of their direction, then it's much easier to go along with the things they're saying. And you really start to pay attention to how the stories interconnect and how the actors sort of converge on specific scenes. And all around, I give them big props. I think they did a great job. It has that sort of post-Pulp Fiction feel, but it's somehow super modern while being set in the 1980s. And that's nuts. I don't exactly know how they did it. I know that it involves things like color keying because they got the 80s look down. They use a lot of really cool sort of VHS effects here and there to good effect, to make it give you that feel that you're watching an old VHS. They push the sense of it just through the atmosphere and things that were happening in 1987. Characters bring it up, whether they're like walking out of a movie theater talking about something they saw or commenting on the price of something. Just a subtle thing where someone's like, I'm buying this thing and it's only $2, and you're like, I hadn't been that cheap in a while. And you get that sense of the time by minor, simple aspects of the background, which I thought was very cool. All around, because it's on HBO Max, and it's hard to necessarily recommend it because of the gore and how strange it is. That said, if you're capable of handling some pretty nasty, gory stuff, not like over the top like Hostel or a horror movie, but gore, and you don't mind weird, and you're willing to let them take you where they want to go, then I would recommend Freaky Tales. If, on the other hand, gore bothers you, and you're more interested in a very linear storytelling, like that's very important to you, Freaky Tales might not be your bag. And it might sell you, but I'm not sure. I don't know that it's like transcend your prejudice against a specific type of storytelling good. But I mean, I really loved it from beginning to end. I was clapping at some scenes. I was being a complete idiot, and it was a lot of fun. So, because if you already have HBO Max, or you don't mind just dropping $14.99, it's cheaper than going to the movie for two people for sure, then give it a try. But let me know, have you already seen Freaky Tales? What did you think of it? Would you watch it based on what I've talked about? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, this is Robert with Society Case Files, signing off.